Just go,
Button.
Zalker.
Make sure you hit the button or people are going to think we're in development hell.
I hit the button. And what people
okay.
are now seeing is Sniper Elite V5. What was it? Sniper Elite 5. No V this time. Fuck Vs.
Where the V come from?
They're out of the game for good. And yeah, Sniper Elite 5 is on Game Pass, man. And actually, I want to give away a code for this. I don't know if some people don't have Game Pass, right? You might want a code. They actually sent me a code for this, and I was like, why'd you send me a code? It's in Game Pass. But hey, caring is sharing and vice versa. We're going to do some shout outs. We're going to do some introductions. We got Joe here from, of course, the, friend of the show. Awesome guy. Worked at 343 for half a decade. Then made his own game. Came up with his own game, Song of Iron. And we got a lot of cool stuff here we're going to be talking to Joe about. And so much more stuff. So let us know your thoughts, chat. Hit the like button. Tell everybody we're live. Help us out a little bit as we do get the show going. We've got D-Batch, buddy. How you been? Another weekend of the show.
I'm good, man. Enjoying the hot weather we're having in Canada right now. It's really, really hot today. It's like 35, 36 Celsius. I don't know the conversion, but it's really damn hot, man. And yeah, it's good to be with you guys today. We got some interesting topics, so let's go.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to the people at Power the Chat, too. Start with J-Mo Money. Shout out to you, buddy. We've also got All Might. We got Death Mobile. Head in the Cloud. Shout out to you, buddy. We got Michael Monkey Punch, Toolman55, Alex, and so many others in the chat. You guys are awesome. We've also got xCloud Tim Dog, buddy. How you been?
Good. Happy to be here. Great guests and Joe. We're going to have a nice day today. And yeah, a lot of really positive stuff to go on about 13 days, I think, or 14 days till the showcase. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about and hearing good things. So let's go.
We've also got Zalker87, brother. How you been?
Doing good, man. Can't wait to get into all these topics. We have a bunch. I was scrolling through them, and there's a lot of news popping off right now. Xbox is popping off. Fable sucks. There's a lot, and I'm excited. Fable doesn't suck. I'm trolling everybody, but also, there is the Warhammer show tomorrow that might show Darktide and Space Marine 2. So keep an eye out for that. Thursday's got Sony's show. Next week's Game Fest, and then of course the big boy, Xbox Bethesda. So, damn man, it's good to be a gamer right now.
Yeah, and that's just one show, right? So
Yeah.
there's going to be a ton of stuff to see this year. Speaking of games, that's why we're all here, right? And Joe actually makes games. Maybe in the future he might hint at some stuff, right? But for now, we're going to have him on the show. We're going to talk about some topics. We're going to have a good old time. Joe, welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, dude. Thanks for having me again. I had a blast last time, and yeah, it's always a good time here.
And just for clarification, like we've covered before, you worked at 343 for about half a decade, correct? And
yeah,
then,
I was there like 8 years, made a bunch of games before it.
Even more.
And then I bounced to make Song of Iron, which is the game you were talking about that I made myself.
Yeah, which is your first game by yourself, practically by yourself. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And for what it is, man, like that game is surprisingly high quality for like you said, one guy. But again, we always love having you on the show, man. We gotta say thanks. We got to thank the patron shout out to you here. We got Nerdy Meathead. We got Boba Fett Gaming. I think there was another one, Nerdy Meathead, and then there was, sorry, man, I'm blanking right now, but I think he just signed up. I think it renews around the 5th, so stay tuned for that, buddy. But Boba Fett Gaming, we got Dev Mobile, we got Ruben Almighty, Dave Incubus, Ricky Fallon, Fault Lines, Not Silent, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Nano Polymath, Zordon Costanza, KY Bob, Goose 8402, Strike Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, Foreign Object, Gabqueast, Teo, John Blue, Beg Boss, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Tasteless Gene, Michael Bond, Guillermo Cavillo, All Might, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan as the episode sponsors here and the sponsors here. We got to give him a big shout out. Zalker, I want to start with you on this first big interview. It's a PlayStation topic, but it really does feed into what we've been talking about for literally years.
Yep.
And he had a QA on basically what is the direction that they are headed. And Joe, I want your perspective, of course, on this topic after we get this out there, but this really shows you how different Sony are now than they were even a few years ago, and it seems like they definitely want pretty much half of their games on PC and mobile by 2025, right?
Yep. And they jumped up, or they want I think to triple or quadruple their revenue this year in PC gaming. Like it went from if you look at it the year over year from 2021 to 2022, it jumps up exponentially. And this has been going around for a little while. And then Jim Ryan even talked about like, instead of PlayStation focusing on the rather narrow console market, that's literally what he said. You know, that's that they're going to be moving more towards mobile and PC, and they're going to have games as a service grow, like 2 unannounced live service games launching in the next couple of years or the next year, more acquisitions coming, live service games going, you know, completely transformational, and it's taking the business of Sony and really revamping it. Like they're done messing around. Like this is stuff that we've heard about for a while. Other people are starting to finally accept it, right? Like some of the hardcore, vehement, you know, venomous, dumb fans that just can't like have anything else. We're going to be seeing this a lot more with Sony. They're going to be dropping stuff, you know, at, you know, the September game show. They're going to have other PC games coming out. There's rumors of, did you see that? Oh, by the way, side note, did you see that troll of the Bloodborne rumor?
I heard about
like,
it.
that is one of the most savage trolls I've ever seen.
Tell
the guy,
people
like,
what you're talking about.
Oh my God. So this guy put like, there's this guy Nibel or something, I think his name is. He puts out like a lot of stuff about like, you know, Sony and all that and Xbox, and he's pretty right, and he just reports on things. And so he put out this fake account, put out a tweet with that guy's same picture, same name, but with one different letter, and talked about how Bloodborne's coming to PC and it's going to be PS5 enhanced and blah, blah, blah. And it was all fake. And it leaked to like a 2015 article of Bloodborne. And people were like all excited. They're like, it's happening. And then the guy that actually reports on this stuff was like, it's fake. That's not my account. And everybody just died on Twitter. Like, it was so savage, bro. Like I laughed. So I know it's terrible to laugh at that, but it's one of the most savage trolls ever. Anyways.
Well, you know, hey, reading, you know. What's the good for?
Yeah, you got comprehension. It's good to have. But Joe, what do you think about all this, man? About Sony going over to PC, mobile, and wanting to focus on?
Hang on, Joe. Let me do this the right way. Joe, what do you think about? What do you think about? You know, Sony really stretching their legs and looking over at Xbox, and they're saying that looks pretty enticing. All that record revenue you guys are seeing. I bet you we could see some record revenue if we did that.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're not watching Xbox. I mean. And then they tested God of War and something else in PC, right? I'm sure that did really well for them. And then it just became a no-brainer when they see the numbers. I think that's a huge part of why they picked up Destiny as the live service game stuff. There's so much knowledge from all the Destiny, or picked up Bungie because they've got so much knowledge of the live service stuff. With
Are you saying
Destiny
that Sony bought Bungie?
Didn't they?
Oh, it's an inside joke, dude. There was a guy on our podcast, Forte, that said they don't own that. They don't own Bungie.
I had to do it. Forte is awesome. We're just kidding, but I mean, you're right though. Like you think their purchasing of Bungie is a big flare in the sky, saying, "Hey, we're ready. Come on, let's go."
Yeah, I mean, any big studio like this, they're not going to create a division to do it. They're going to buy one that exists, right? And they do it. All tech does it, and Sony's no different. And that should be a sign more than they just want Destiny. They want all of the knowledge of Bungie in those systems, and so that's definitely a sign that they're going full in on it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, they have brought multiple games to PC. They brought Death Stranding. They published that. They do own that IP. They brought Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn. Then they bring the entire Uncharted collection. They bring God of War. They bring Days Gone, and they've got plans for pretty much everything going forward. You can pretty much bet on it.
God of War sold, I think, 1 million copies on PC.
Yeah, that's
wild.
They showed the numbers.
Yeah,
they showed the numbers.
Yeah,
how much
I forgot all the numbers. I forgot all the numbers, but they were really high, and I think this is what's really driving them because they see the revenue. This is like free money to them. They're like, why the hell haven't we done this before? Yeah. And like as competition, why would you allow Xbox to monopolize that market and have only their games there? Why would you not put your games there? And Sony games, like, let's just be honest, I love their exclusives. I simply own a PlayStation for their exclusives. That's the only reason why I own one. And PC players have been always jonesing for Sony games, and for 50% of them to come over in the next 4 years, I think that number is going to be higher. I think they're going to release more than 50%.
Well, they say so. This is how it started off. In 2020, they had $35 million in PC net sales. The next year, 2021, they had $80 million, and they're projecting this year they want to hit $300 million in PC platform revenue. And the numbers, I'm just going to go these over real quick. Horizon Zero Dawn was the first one, I think, to launch on PC for Sony, and that sold 2.4 million copies. Days Gone sold 852,000 copies, and God of War sold, it doesn't say, it says, 958,000 copies, so almost a million.
Already.
So they made like $26 million extra on like a lot of those. Like on God of War, they made $26 million. People are calculating all. Days Gone made like $22 million. Like, it's insane. Like, all these numbers are there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah. they're not fucking around.
let me give a shout out to Outbreak Gamers, by the way. Big shout out to him, Outbreak Podcast. He says, Tim Dog, any news on Final Fantasy BXB YZ Elemental P coming to Xbox? New Final Fantasy?
So the new one, no.
Okay.
I don't think we'll hear anything on the new one.
I think he's talking about the remake, the one that came out 2 years ago.
The 7, yeah. I'd keep an eye out on the show for that.
All right.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, if they bring it out to the show, if they bring it out on Xbox, they have to put it on Game Pass. Like, I understand if you just release it, like, cool, but the game's 2 years old. Like, you'd have to drop it on Game Pass to get any type of traction.
What? No,
That's
no,
just
you
me,
won't.
man. That's just me.
Yeah, that is just you.
I'm just saying, man.
Tony Bryant, by the way, your new member for 32 months. Shout out to him, man. He says, glad to be here live. Best podcast on the planet. Can't wait for you guys to see what's going on. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff going to be hitting that June event. We're not doing a stream during the event, and I've never done that because I'm a gamer and I like to watch the damn event and not worry about anything else and just do that. But we will be live after the event. And, of course, I don't know who here will make it. As always, we will have an awesome panel. Tim will be here. That's confirmed. We might have somebody.
I'm not coming because F you, dealer.
Well, last year, or what was that? Last year, year before, we had somebody from Xbox on the show right after the event. We never know what Xbox might email me with. We'll see, but it should be a good time. And then
Didn't we have like Aaron
I'll be
Greenberg
here for
and
sure.
Larry Herb came on?
They're gonna be having the watch party, so it might be tough to get somebody from them because at that event they were having the watch party and the party right after it. So I don't know.
They can call in via satellite phone.
Yeah, who knows? But
I think
I'll
Harvey's going to be there. Just ask him to do it.
and I'm going to be excited to be there. I think we're going to be sharing a lot of good stuff that day.
Definitely. Hey, we got to shout out to over 800 people watching. We've been live for about 10 minutes, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two, and of course, help us out a little bit. We got some information on everything that's happened in the last week in gaming and some stuff coming up on Fable, potentially some Wolfenstein stuff, and more. Everything that you want to know before the big showcases are going down. Zach, we got another super chat. You want to get that while I transition forward here? Again, this is Sniper Elite 5 Game Pass. Let us know if you've tried it. Co-op mode in the campaign is pretty fun. 4-player co-op survival. This is what you're seeing here with some friends of mine. Zach, are you ready?
Yep, I got Tony Bryant, member for 32 months. Glad to be here live. Best podcast on the planet. Can't wait for you guys to see what we are working on.
That's going to be amazing, Tony. And then we got Dark CMF.
We got Dark CMF. He says, sad times for Sony as first Horizon and now God of War are no longer exclusive. See a pony, hug a pony, hit the like button. What the fuck?
My Little Pony did just come out on the store, guys. So, bonus points to Randolph Thor for beating that one. Oh, and we've also got Sony talking about more acquisitions, more live service games. Will be, completely essential to what they're doing going
He
forward.
also said that that the first and foremost, gamers care about like great games. That's what they want. And he says it's rather secondary in the way they're delivered to them. And that's like what he's talking about is how are these games being delivered? It's not just going to be delivered through a console. It's going to be delivered through the PC, mobile, and console. And that's what he's talking about. He's basically just putting all this stuff together. And he knows about like all the AAA games and how their first party has been like a very strong suit of what Sony does.
Mhm.
So they're going to continue doing that, but also put these games on PC because as you can see, they made a shit ton of money. So why the fuck not?
Yeah.
And he was also talking about different type of genres, not just the third person action adventure games, going in a different direction as well. So I honestly tell you, his comments made me really like him. I actually tweeted out that I think I actually like this guy. It makes sense. I just don't see Sony surviving going in the same direction. They're gonna run out of steam. People are gonna get sick of the same copy and paste technique that they've been using for their games. Although those games are good, people will get fatigued. So I'm excited to see them branching out into different direction and also allowing their games to go on PC. And hopefully they could add some type of component to their PS Plus, whatever the hell they're calling it, where you get to play these games on PC as well. I think that would really help propel that service forward and also help them to compete against Microsoft. So I think it's a good time, no matter like, which box you root for. As a gamer, I think it's a good time. I think competition is what's making this happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're being toxic by saying their games will get stale, D-Batch. I think you're being super toxic right there. But seriously though, I think you got a good point. They do got to change things up and reach out. What do companies do, right? They've always got to grow. They've always got to expand their profits, and that's one thing you can always count on them trying to do. And how do you do that? You access a bigger player base, and this is the most obvious and direct route to do that. So it's kind of common sense. That's why we've always been in this camp. Now there are some other camps out there. No, shout out to Gaz. We were talking earlier, and we're talking about this Fable thing. He just mentioned, hey, I heard that Fable, they were scaling things back. They were doing certain things with Fable, and I'm not 100% sure. This is what I was told. I don't know if you guys heard about this at all, but Fable, this thing's going around on Reset Era. It's kind of hard to even jump into properly, but it's going around Reset Era now. Same reason you get all these rumors from all these other podcasts that pop up just because they say something. It just doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And the people saying these things will tell you this, and these articles will still get written, and these threads are still created. And then these same people are lambasted and attacked in those threads, even though they said, which those people didn't see, well, I don't know if this shit's true. So basically, Gaz was saying on XNC that, hey, I'm hearing, Fable's been scaled back a little bit, and they're having some difficulty working with Forza Tech for an RPG, which is, oddly enough, something that we had literally gone into a big debate on, Forza Tech and why they would use it to build an RPG of all things. And we were actually making fun of the animations in the game. I don't know if you guys remember, but I don't know if they were winning the British awards using the animations from Horizon 5. But yeah, definitely Fable. It's not in development hell. That's first and foremost. But I actually just talked to somebody before the show, and they were basically saying, it's pretty common sense. This is something that happens in development. The scope of the game is whittled down to be a better experience, and it happens on all the different games out there, and not just Fable. And I also talked to somebody else who said, they wish that they could make videos on this kind of thing to inform people about how this development stuff works, because it's just not true that Fable is in any kind of hell right now when it comes to being scaled down, or when it comes to any other factor. Negatively, they were only basically like, this is not true. So
I'm getting texts from Gaz right now. He's saying, I had dinner with Ralph Fulton, the director at Playgrounds, and this is what he told me personally. So there you go.
No,
Gaz, thanks, bud. No, I'm just joking. No,
I want to go to Joe, though, because Joe has built games, like you said, worked on 343 for 8 years. He's built his own game. You hear about things that get out maybe before they're supposed to, or just stuff that's maybe not true, or maybe exaggerated or focused the wrong direction a little bit too much. Out of context. What are your thoughts on what do you hear about this? Is this kind of scaling a project to key here, like kind of common, or what are your thoughts on what you've heard about that, if anything?
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time, and it's probably a good thing and not a bad thing if they're scaling in any meaningful way. But most likely, they've got a ton of big ideas this early in a project like that, and they're refining down to good ideas. If this story has any truth to it at all, right? Like, I don't know, and I don't know what's going on there, so I can't say, but it's always a good thing for people to scale down in games. And it's never going to be to like make a smaller game, not a studio like that, not a prime IP like that. It happens all the time. And so often at 343, someone would like have something on their LinkedIn, and it would just get blown out of proportion like crazy. And like just cycles and cycles of news would like...
What do you mean? Like somebody you work with had like a project they were doing in the background or something on their LinkedIn?
They're like, their LinkedIn title would be a certain thing, and they'd be like, oh, then this is definitely coming. And we're like, how can you make that leap? You're a lunatic. And I'm sure it's true, but like, it didn't matter. Like, it was just... And then somebody had posted a test, like an animation test of a jackal getting assassinated. This was a few games ago, and people like lost their shit over it because they were like, "Oh, confirmed this thing is happening," and it was like, that's an animation test that has literally nothing to do with the game. So you just can't like believe anything until it's real. I don't know.
Yeah, and you should know you were basically the lead animator, right?
Yeah, lead animator on all the enemies
Mm-hmm.
of Infinite. Yeah.
Yeah, and two, I mean, I think you're right. When you start a project, that's the problem, and that's what Corey Barlog alluded to, was building a sandwich every layer at a time. It can be hard to focus that stuff and decide what's happening, where, when, how, and the overall scope of the game. And a lot of stuff gets whittled down into a package that is better than what they started with. That's the goal, right?
Oh yeah.
So like I said, from who I talked to yesterday and someone else today, this is definitely not the case in any negative way at all, is basically what I got out of it. And they wish they could start a YouTube channel and start teaching people how this stuff works, because they were a little bit frustrated by it. But, I was sure to let them know this is, they didn't say they heard this for sure. They just kind of threw it out there and talked about it. So I don't know, man. It's just the way things work. Zalker87, Tim Dog, D-Batch.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I feel like it fits Fable perfectly, because if you remember during Lionhead's time, like the lead developer would say some outlandish shit in interviews about like scope that he had. I think his name is Peter
Molyneux.
Molyneux. Yeah, he would say some shit that like I remember he had like interviews at E3 talking about like the scope and this, and the people that were working on the game were like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
He's like, "You will be able to hold hands with a dog."
And he would just say all this shit, and even the people working on the game were like, "Yo, dude, what in the fuck was that in scope? Hang on, bro."
Yeah,
like so. I think it's kind of funny.
Peter's like, "That's not in the game. What the fuck?"
Here's the problem. What goes on with this? And I listen. I love Gaz, he's a friend of mine, but when you say something like that, and it gets picked up, and it's definitely going to get picked up. You'll see tomorrow that some game article will be written about this. It'll refer him, and then some other publication will take it, and obviously the fanboys will pick it up, and they'll say, "Hey, look, more problems at Microsoft camp.
Yep.
Here we go again." And then you start this thing where something that we don't even know if is true is now being plastered around as true, and it becomes a thing. And that's where it's tough on the developers, and that's where it's tough on everything here. I mean, unless you get explicit confirmation or you're like really sure that you know what you're talking about, I would put it out there. But you can't just put it out there on a whim, because this is what's going to happen. I guarantee you tomorrow you will see, Sony guys posting this article that's out there, and then that article will get traction because Xbox guys will be like, "No, it's not true," and then it becomes a shit show, and then more articles come up, and then it's passed as fact because it was pushed out there. So it's just a vicious cycle that happens, and like I said, Gaz is a cool dude, and I would tell him straight to face, you just need to know.
But
really,
Gaz certainly was not quoted entirely, and it was basically ran with and assumed that he never clarified. Hey, I don't know this 100%. That's same thing happens to us all the time.
Yeah, and I don't think that he would think that he'd be quoted like that and the way he was, because I saw somebody that was like a rundown of everything that he said. It was like 5 bullet points of negative stuff. It's just that you gotta really know. And if the case in fact is that they're having trouble, that's not a good thing, because this is supposedly one of their top studios. But if it's not true and they're fine with their development, it's kind of unfair, because now you're getting these things, and it's not nobody's fault. It's just that you're getting these things where people are trying to like put together this
same
all these
propaganda against Xbox.
The studios are being mismanaged and Phil needs to be fired. That's where it all comes down to, where it all dribbles down to horribly. But it just becomes the type of thing where you really got to know the facts before if it's going to go out there.
You know what I want to know, Tim? I want to know the facts on, and we get a lot of developers that listen to the show. We get a lot of people from Xbox that listen to the show. We've had a lot of them on. But everyone I know doesn't know the answer to this, and that includes people that know what's going on there, at least a little bit. Why the hell is the game being made with Forza Tech? I don't, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just curious. It's curious to me. It's the first game ever in 20 plus years. Almost 20 years, that's being made with Forza Tech that is not a racing game. And I'm just wondering why, since we have all these other
engine
engines out there.
that Playground's used, right? Like it's the only engine that they've used for the last 10 years.
What about
It's
it?
the engine that, like, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what they know.
But,
right? Like,
but
why
a
would
lot
they
of that
go do
team,
that
most of
again?
that team is new hires.
And that's the thing. I think that's the problem. The new
They
hire
have
part.
tech in place though.
Well,
They have tech in
it's-
place, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. They have tech in place. They have documentation in place of how to use it, how to do certain things with those assets in the engine. Like, I get why they did that. The point that I'm trying to make is that I think people have insane expectations of, like, this game should release in 3-4 years. Like, Joe, tell me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Like, they built this studio at the end of 2017 and then hired 200 people in 2018. Like, not straight. They put 200 job applications out there. So for the last 3-4 years, they've been not only making the studio, but also like even like buying the building.
They're
to get
trying
the
to
studio
build
inside.
the sandwich every layer at a time right now.
Literally. Get the computers in. No, it's way too fast, especially for a big game like that. I think a lot of people's timelines get thrown off because they showed that like cinematic teaser trailer, right?
In 2020, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I almost can guarantee you that they were like, let's make Fable, and then a month later, they're like, we'll just have someone make this for us and then figure out what the game is later. And I mean, that sounds so bad. I guarantee you Perfect Dark's thing was the exact same thing. That studio had like 10 people in it when that trailer got made.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? So those little cinematics we should always disregard entirely until they show us the game. Cyberpunk was the same, right? We saw that Cyberpunk trailer like 30 years before the game like came out or whatever.
About 6-7 years, yeah.
And they needed they needed another 30. I'll tell you that much.
And the fucking trailer
right?
still looked better than the damn game.
Yeah, right. I mean, and so to finish the point though, like if they're using the Forza stuff, which my guess would be it's because their main dev people are staying there, and so they know it the best. I would totally disagree with that as a choice, but I'm not there. And they also have like that open world-ish racing stuff has some pretty powerful large world technology in it. And so the gamble they're taking is we can build a massive world. This is a guess, I don't know. But all we have to do now is build all these other systems. If we were to go and pick some other engine, Unity or Unreal or something, they're going to say like, this is our cost. It's going to be this other thing. And they're making the gamble that the visuals in the world that they can make in there is already good. Now they just have to make character.
Maybe they're going to use it as a benchmark of types, right? Like where they're going to like build a game like Fable. And of course, we know the Turn 10 team and the Playground team share technology. When Forza Horizon 2 got rain, Forza Motorsport, the next one had rain in the actual racing loop part. You know, they share technology, they build in the same engine, and maybe they want to develop Fable to help them maintain what they plan on being a powerhouse engine for the future. But I mean, I'm still curious as to why the choice. That's all I'm saying. Any developers, anybody that works there, message me. Let me know, okay?
Hey.
That's all I want.
Joe, I want to ask you a quick question. Touching on that engine, from my point of view, I think they're choosing that engine because yes, they work with it all the time. They're very familiar with it. But I think also the open world nature of it, just being big, and they can build upon that already. But I also think they're going maybe for a more realistic look with this Fable, because you know, if you take the cars outside of Forza and you look at the environments and the lighting and the weather elements, it is a pretty stunning looking environment. And then my second question is to like you and the rest of the panel. Do you think maybe we'll see a little something of Fable at the upcoming Bethesda event?
Yeah, I mean, to answer the art style, I would be personally disappointed if they didn't stay with the Fable style, but even if it's really heavily upgraded. But it might be part of it. I mean, it might be part of their decision. It's so early in development to make that call, like get the engine first and then decide on art. I mean, art's going to take half of development and then some to come up with. So they probably don't even know yet, to be honest.
Right.
I would expect
it to be more realistic. I mean, that's just me. I think that if you remember that holy shit moment of Horizon 5 when it got shown, people thought they were showing like the mountains of Mexico, and then it went straight into gameplay without cutting, like just straight. Like it was like, whoa, like that is insane. So that was, and you know, Xbox hasn't had a lot of those moments. Let's be fucking honest. Like they have Craig face. Like we love it, but whatever. Craig's the man.
Hey, everybody knows Craig face.
That's really close to the bar, man.
Joe, I had to do it, bud.
Hey, you help make Xbox's most iconic. You helped make Xbox's most iconic character, though. You know,
Exactly.
I know, Joe. I had to, bro. Sorry.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to almost 1,200 people already watching this live, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show. We do appreciate it. We got Joe here. He worked at 3 for 3 for 8+ years. Made his own game, Song of Iron. Check it out on Xbox. And when are you coming to PlayStation?
I don't know yet.
Why are you being toxic, Joe? No,
It's hard, man.
Let
It's
us
hard
know.
It's hard.
Is
It's
it hard to
hard.
port? Is it hard to port to PlayStation?
It's hard to port everywhere, and the more porting I do, the harder the next one becomes, because the system is built on top of the other system on top of the other system, and it's really the worst part of making something. And I'm like, I don't want to go into that part of the game engine again.
Well, you did say
If
that
I
you
can.
brought Song of Iron X about Xbox because making one version kind of made two with PC, right?
Yeah, PC and Xbox work really well together. Porting to Xbox or kind of building it for Xbox was actually pretty easy. There's so many, like, I'm not an engineer. I'm from the art side. So as soon as I start touching code or stuff, I start, falling asleep at my desk. And they luckily made it pretty easy.
Relax.
Yeah.
He said, relax. Hey, Zachary,
Coding's fun.
you want to catch us up on these chats here? And by the way, chat, let us know your thoughts on everything we've covered so far. What do you think about Fable 3? Again, I wouldn't be concerned. This is a natural process of every game, I'm told. And if you want to say anything scaling, it's something that they would consider to be mandatory and evident in every single game like this. It's nothing negative.
All right,
Just
so
run with it if you want.
I got Chaos. This is the farthest I could go. I got Chaos Might. He's a member for 20 months. Says Zalker is a fraud. Hell yeah. Hope Fonz is doing well. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Fonz. He's awesome. We got KY Bob. He says, hit the like button, everyone. Show is fire. Sniper Elite 5 is off the shizzy. I hate myself for even reading that. And launched on Game Pass day 1. Felt good to not spend $70 again. Look at that. Hey, Sniper Elite 5 is actually a lot of fun, though. It's fucking awesome. We got Power Man 4K. Shout out to the best Xbox podcast in the game. Great show, boys. Thanks, Power Man.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you. We got Dark CMF. Be sure to spread the word within the coming weeks. Someone in the U.S. will win a Series X here in the RDX chat. Hit the like button.
Xbox Series console being given away for listeners of the show, guys. So, of course, stay tuned.
Anybody feel like D-Batch is going to win it and then scalp it?
Oh, man. Hey, shout out to Mr. Bushido. He says, what's up, guys? He says, enjoying the show. And he says, of course, PlayStation is now holding back the generation. It's fucked up. And then we've got Human Hulk. Shout out to you, buddy. $10 super chat. He says, finally got to hear you guys live. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, man. He says, bring back Vector Man. And what is that? Aerobat. Aerobat.
No idea.
I don't know what that stuff is, man. But we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back for you. And then Bald Thanos, he says, this super chat is self-promotion. All right, Bald Thanos, shout out to you.
Thanks, Thanos.
And again,
Watch your fingers. Don't be snapping them.
Shout out to Power Man and Dark CMF. You guys are awesome. But Joe, again, I mean, I would say that everything that you, because again, I just want to put this out there again. You're a developer. You are giving your thoughts on everything regarding scaling and having to make choices and focus a game. We've heard things like this from Double Fine where they said, hey, we had levels that we were going to release later maybe, but because we were able to scale the game in a certain way, we got better levels in, etc. You don't think this is anything negative you got to worry about. This is kind of typical of game development.
100% typical. If anything, they were exploring a ton of stuff in this early stage, and then they said, okay, this is the direction of the game, so let's narrow down so we're focused on the main pillars we've decided are the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're scoping all the bad ideas out is what's happening.
Gotcha.
Would be my guess, 100%.
Well, I'd say your guess sounds pretty logical.
I like it.
So yeah, I mean, what is that? Oh, yeah. So I mean, hey, Fable 3, take from it what you will. The Xbox Series S, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, Joe. It's kind of a big deal, a big new universal truth. But the Xbox Series S is doing so well that it should not be counted as an Xbox Series sale.
I've heard that.
Here we go.
You've heard that, huh?
I heard that.
Well,
it's so funny.
It is kind of stupid, huh? Considering we just had an Xbox Series 1S and a 1X, and the 1S was fine to count. Even the 1S digital was fine to count. But now that Xbox is doing good, you can't count the fucking low-end model. I don't. They never had this problem with the PS4 Pro, the PS4. You can count both those. You're talking about performance differences. The Xbox One S and the Xbox One X were leagues apart. I mean, you had one running stuff at 4K and one at 720p to 900p. And then you got guys. Shout out to Mooch. He was basically talking about Metro Exodus 540p. Well, at the lowest on Metro Exodus, before it's reprojected and all this other stuff, internally it can run as low as 540p on a $300 box, right? But that's before the reprojection, which, obviously raised it up to around 1080p. And that's without mentioning the full global ray trace global illumination. That's without mentioning the 60 FPS on what is probably one of the best looking games and the best looking game on Series S you can find. And I just don't understand it, because you can't win when you do smart things to make a game look great, run great, and have ray tracing. You'll get complaints, it's holding things back even though it's doing everything. Or you'll run things at native 1080p and it's not good enough either. So I just don't understand why people aren't mentioning the damn prices of the box. And why is this so hard to understand, Tim Dog?
Because Series S is considerably doing better than anybody expected. I mean, I think people expected it to do well, but I think right now it's doing exceedingly good, to the point where we're putting these handicaps up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's we're not going to go say VG Charts is a source, or it's they do their best, but people have been using them, and that's been triggering a lot of this type of stuff, because this supposedly it was supposed to be done, and the shortages are supposed to be catching up, and it showed a couple of weeks on VG Charts that Sony had been winning. And those same people are now putting it up and saying, hey, look now. And then all of a sudden they lose Japan and people go crazy. And then the VG charts are now showing back Xbox is outselling PlayStation worldwide. And, a lot of these guys have put, forward that Xbox is never going to ever be popular, and it's a joke, and it's a third place, last place system. And they can't deal with the fact that it's doing well. And I could say this much: VG charts aside, I know Xbox right now is very happy with the numbers that they've gotten, to the point where they it's exceeding their expectations. And they should have another big month next month with they're gonna have a showcase, and that's gonna obviously build some hype. But the fact of the matter is that people just have an issue with giving credit to Xbox and giving credit to Series S. I mean, you said it all there. You talk about one metric, but then you're figuring in that
you're leaving out the 1440, 120 games and the fucking,
Exactly. You're leaving out 60 frames per second. You're leaving out a lot of things there. And, you just can't do that. And, nobody has a problem counting the Switch. Switch is a console, and they're, pushing out games through 360p and sometimes when it's on the handheld. But aside from all that, it's just it's silly to try to downplay it. People were calling for Phil's job, but Phil's the one that really pushed this Series S. This dual cheaper Xbox and then Supreme Xbox idea. Even within his organization, he had a lot of people that were saying that's not a good idea to make one Xbox, to go that route, and this was a bad idea. He stuck to it. This was his plan, and pandemic or not, it's paid off in gold. And they, for whatever they have a team that's dedicated to pushing the supply lines, making sure that certain aspects of the chip building can be, readily fixed or helped out or facilitated, and it's showing. They are producing more silicon than Sony right now, and that's just the way it is. And they have the thing that people miss is like, well, they say, oh, that doesn't matter because one's shortage. No, the thing is that Xbox is selling its demand, so it's meeting its demand, meaning that people still can't at times get it, but you have to be popular to make that amount of consoles that they're making, and they are making a nice amount right now, and they're selling them, and that's the big thing.
Well, they've
In-
finally
in-
go ahead, D. Go ahead, D.
in Canada, like I just want to touch on what you said there because I watch all the stock. So in Canada, the Xbox is selling more than the PlayStation, and the PlayStation goes into stock. It's not a situation where like PlayStations are never coming into stock. Yesterday, I believe it was for 3 hours, PlayStation sat in stock. The day before, Amazon had it in stock for 45 minutes to an hour, where before it was selling out instantly. The Xbox, when it goes in stock, it's selling out instantly. So yes, there's a case of supply and demand to a degree, but when PlayStations are in stock, they are sitting a lot longer. So they are losing a little bit of steam, and a lot of people are picking up a Series X and a Series S. A Series S has pretty much been readily available. It's a fraction of the cost of the Series X, and you can still enjoy the benefits of next generation games. Yeah, some games you may lose ray tracing, but for the most part, it's
You get what you pay
very
for.
good. Yeah,
Well,
it's especially for the price point. When you look at the price point of that, go build a PC. I build PCs. I cannot build a PC anywhere near the specs of a Series S. It's just impossible. And I just think it comes down to people just being salty that the Xbox is doing so good. Beginning of the generation,
Yep.
Xbox wasn't going to sell well. Oh, it's going to be worse this time. It's going to be 5-1. You guys are going to get washed out. And Xbox is doing good. It's leading in markets where it wasn't even expected to lead. So it's just a matter of haters, man.
I've certainly heard a lot of excuses out here, 87.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is that I think that for the last several months, Xbox has outsold them. Xbox has sold very well, and not to mention, like, I'm sorry, but the Series S is in like the whatever kind of budget, right? Like, it's I get it's a little expensive, but at $200, $250, whatever the hell, like $300, it's like, and plus I think it's on sale now for like $270 or $280. Like it's like a
Wow.
$250. It's like a well shit, I might as well get one kind of deal, right? Like that's to me what they've hit with that is that it's hit the masses, and that's exactly what's happening. And after 6 years of basically winning like one MPD. Like, I think it's become kind of a shell shock to the industry, or even people that like give a shit about all these sales numbers. That hey, Xbox is doing very well. And they're selling and outselling, and the biggest thing I'll say, and I know people made fun of it, is like for them to outsell even a week in Japan is fucking insane to me. Like I was like, that's never gonna happen. Like even me, I was just like, I don't think it's gonna happen, and then it happened.
Even
and it's
you.
like, okay, yeah, dude. Everybody was like, well, what about Japan? I'm like, I don't think they're going to sell there. It's whatever. And it's like, I always like just didn't even pay attention to it. Then it's like they outsold them. I'm like, in Japan? I'm like, really? I thought that was a troll. And I'm like, then there you go. Like, so
I didn't know
think
you
people
were
need to
just so
realize
against
that.
the Xbox outselling them in Japan.
I mean, I was totally against
What a
it. Like,
fraud.
never again. Don't count the Series S. That's what I said. I said, don't count it.
Hey, let me give
Stop the count.
let me give a shout out to the Andrew. Shout out to you. He says, I never knew Bigfoot was a species of catfish. I don't know what that means. I just know there was a chick on Twitter that got caught catfishing recently. Ultra Watch, shout out to you, buddy. He says, at Tin Dog, he really wants to know about this. He really wants to know about this Final Fantasy remake, Tim Dog. I mean, tell this motherfucker what you know, all right?
No, I mean, listen, you hear a lot of things, and one of the things that I've heard was that they announced last month that they're going to have an anniversary and they're going to have an update, and I've heard that it could be the remake, and I've also heard it bounded about that it could be on Game Pass. But does that mean that's going to actually happen? No, it's just a prediction. It's just something that makes sense if you think about it. Just get them getting the system. I think in this physical year would make a lot of sense because of the issues that they've had with Starfield. And
I remember talking to old Randall about it, and Randall was telling me he was never coming to Xbox, and I was like, I think it is, Randall. So if it does, I mean,
damn, why you gotta throw Randall under the bus like that?
What do you mean? Oh, I could talk about
you
more.
Slide
of those.
piece of
I
shit.
could do that a lot more.
You'll never know. June 12th. You'll know June 12th. I think if the day comes and goes and you don't get Final Fantasy, then maybe it might never come.
Maybe
but
it won't.
I do think that if it does come that day, it's going to come that day, and it makes a lot of sense. It seems like it's something that a deal that unless like Square Enix flatly says no, like. It makes a lot of sense for them to fill their year physically with that remake because it was a huge game in 2020, I think, for Sony, and it'd be a big game for Xbox too.
Yep. Big shout out to Danny Passion. The super sticker says, "Hiya, Lucius." By the way, he says all last year people were claiming PS5 would outsell Xbox 2-1 or even 3-1. Now those same people are mad. Yeah, they're mad that the Series S is doing well. And again, I mean, during a global chip shortage, it couldn't be a better time for a low-end model that literally requires less silicon than the other two models to exist. It's kind of perfect timing. By the way, speaking of perfect timing, 1,300 people plus watching, guys. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. We do appreciate you. We got some really good topics, great panel going on here as we do talk about the latest and greatest information, D-Batch. And part of that latest and greatest information is Ninja Gaiden collection. We got For Honor, a big collection version of that game coming. Chorus, as well as Assassin's Creed Origins, the 60 FPS mode on that game through Series X and S. That's all coming to Game Pass.
I told you, 60 FPS. I told you this years ago.
Yeah.
Finally, it is coming to fruition. These guys held it off the Xbox One when it was fully capable of doing it, and now they're finally giving it to us. And
could you imagine the people on Twitter that actually fell for your little troll? You're like, I said this forever ago.
Oh,
obviously trolling.
I also told them I was a time traveler, so hey, take it for
Oh,
what
it's funny.
it is.
Not to interrupt, but for D, I remember being at E3 and there was a person that came up to me, a gamer, and he's like, "Yeah, I just played Origins on Xbox One X, and it had a toggle for 30 frames per second, 60 frames." So people just make up shit, and that's how that stuff goes about. But
Yeah.
At that time, there was people literally. I was told that at E3.
Well, maybe it did back then.
And I was really, who knows? Maybe it was happening. They were playing. The guy said he was a tester. I don't know. People saying he was talking out his ass. I don't know. It didn't come out. I don't know. People still remember this shit 5 years later. Like it's unbelievable, man. Like nobody could ever make a mistake. And back then I was kind of green, man. But it is what it is. But
back then I was just talking out of my ass. So I don't know.
It's nice to see that it is coming to Game Pass and that it's going to be 60 FPS. It's going to make a big difference for that game. As you guys all know, 30 FPS sucks now that you finally get to experience it. You can't go back to 30 FPS after playing 60
I
FPS.
always do 30 FPS. This show is actually the one pushing higher frame rates. And I remember guys in the chat, damage control, I got 4K. I want to use 4K, not 60. I'm like, your TV does 60 by your same fucking logic. Why don't you want to use 60 hertz? But, people are seeing that now. They're seeing the light, Joe. That 30 FPS to 60 FPS on a big open world. I mean, was it a challenge to get Halo Infinite at all running at a higher frame rate? Do you recall anything like that, hitting 60 FPS in a more open world like that?
Oh, yeah, it's always a problem. I mean, luckily I had nothing to do with any of that side of stuff. We're just animating over in my area. But probably almost every game runs into that problem, and it's just about, okay, we've smashed the highest resolution textures we can possibly do for months and months. Now we got to start looking at our benchmarks, and it's like, oh no, what the fuck have we done?
Oh,
and then
shit.
And then everybody starts kind of like, okay, and then we'll do it the right way and fixing stuff up as you final everything, and it's always trouble, and it's probably part of why they ended up not being able to do co-op, I would imagine, because it was probably just running too bad.
I don't know. I mean, I heard it was the RAM of the last gen systems because the tether. Yeah. Tim Dog was talking about that. The tether is basically taking up too much RAM in the co-op.
Yeah. I mean, it's all like going in the same direction, right? It's like performance you're gonna get bottlenecked somewhere, and it's not always one thing or the other. But
they are bringing that co-op. Only 50 years late, but
they're trying. Yeah.
It's definitely coming.
I'm sure they're trying.
I'm sure they're trying.
He's like, I'm out of that burning building.
One guy in the corner of 343. He's like, help me.
Yeah,
Fuck. Sorry. But the one thing about the Corvus and all these Corvs, whatever the hell it's called, that game, and all these games coming to Game Pass, I don't know if you noticed, but they all come by June 7th, and they're like, stay tuned for more that are coming for, at the game show. So I don't know. I think they're going to have some shadow drops at the game show, and, some more stuff's going to be coming this month. They did it last year, right? Like, they had a bunch of stuff announced before, which they just did now. And then they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, coming this summer, here's a bunch of games. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I just want to see what games are coming. I think if we remember last year from like July, on. They had a game, like 1 or 2
Yeah.
games every single month till 2022.
Yeah, it was
Like
an onslaught.
legitimately, it was insane.
Yeah, that's why I said
So-
wait until the show. A lot of people freaking out about Game Pass, and I'm unsubscribing now, even though I knew Starfield was going to be here for a fucking year. You know, like people are. And I'm like, okay, so you're literally going to do this.
You don't care about Sniper
You're gonna
Elite
take,
or any other
you're gonna
other big
take this
games?
stand like a few weeks before the damn show that's going to tell you, hey, we're dropping this in Game Pass right now, and oh yeah, next month this and this next month. I just, it's weird.
One of the things that it goes back to our previous topic, but I wanted to bring it up. Like, I think that like people thought that after the delay of Starfield and maybe some of the DRM stuff, like that Xbox was going to be like horrifically affected, and you just start to see like really, big divots and like like people just like walking away. But the opposite was actually true, that it actually really did well in the month of May. And I just think that's maybe part of why the surprise from the Series S came about today, because obviously, like I said, VGA charts produce those numbers. The people start talking about it, and then people start getting emotional about it or whatever, saying they can't say.
I mean,
it.
why would you think it wasn't going to do well in May? Like they haven't had a big game
Like,
come
yeah,
out like this whole year, and they've
I think that-
dominated.
I think that people will think there was a mass exodus of Game Pass because it came under fire, and also a lot of people were leaving. Like, I think people were hoping for that DRM moment that they had in 2013, where anybody, listen, like I said, the delay was a really tough week for Xbox and stuff like that. But I think people still realize that the game's still coming out, and that it's just a matter of time.
There's still more games coming, and that they need to
Yeah.
play more games and not focus on one type of game, and maybe fucking expand and actually be a good gamer and play something else. Yeah,
I know a good game to play.
Me too.
Shower with your dad.
Oh!
Hey, you should know as a PC guy, it's the only game y'all got over there. Come on now.
I mean, that's just disgusting.
Hey,
At least shower with your uncle.
Okay, well, I wanna go ahead and move forward because I do agree with
That's
Tim.
DLC.
I do agree with Tim. Joe, you saw a lot of guys at the Starfield delay. Did you notice all these articles popping up? And oddly enough, when one got traction or when somebody on Twitter got traction about this unsubscribing from Game Pass thing, magically everyone else started doing it. Like, it's almost like they were coasting off each other because they knew that it was kind of trending.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's such a small group of people that you could look at that chart down to the day and you wouldn't even see the graph change. Like,
oh shit!
we can't worry about that kind of stuff. It's just noise on the internet.
That's what I was saying.
Done.
like a service that big, you're probably purging and gaining 50 to 100K every month. At least.
Oh yeah. Totally. I mean, your channel's big, it, right? You probably gain and lose subscribers just like crazy. Like it's just endless, and like it's the same thing. That whole thing probably lost 10, 20 people, which is nothing,
And the general populace had no idea that this thing even existed.
The
20 people are
They're
the
like,
ones that
hang
wrote
on.
the articles.
You tell somebody that didn't know about it. You tell them about it. And they're like, hang on. What do you mean they unsubscribed because Starfield got delayed? Well, didn't they already know it wasn't coming out for months and months and months? It's like, yeah, they did.
Listen, if they unsubscribed because Starfield got delayed, then why were they subscribed at the time? They would have been waiting for Starfield to come out to subscribe that month. It's just a non thing. It's nothing.
They're trying to will it into existence.
Yeah,
man. It's really, honestly, when I see journalists doing it, it's like, come on, like what are you doing here? Like, as a gamer, like I just don't get the whole battle. Like, I love Xbox, I love the ecosystem, I love that I can play my games on PC, I can go back and forth between the console, but I also like my PlayStation, and I enjoy their exclusives. I don't understand, like, if I like Xbox, I can't like PlayStation, or if you like PlayStation, you can't like Xbox. Let's just have a healthy gaming community, and let's argue, if anything, let's argue about the game. Say, oh, I like this game, I like that game. Oh, this game is better for that game. Like logical arguments. Like this nonsense because these games got delayed, that you're going to cancel Game Pass, only to have, mark my words, only to have egg on your face after the June 12th show.
Oh, shit.
It's just stupid.
Yeah. And by the way,
I'm tired of this kumbaya shit, D. You fucking Stadia fanboy.
Shut up.
I knew it.
Hey, by the
Healthy
way,
gamer.
I put out a tweet about this kind of, cringy or not, I don't care. It was Godzilla and King Kong going back and forth, basically saying like,
You
hey,
cringy fuck.
you know, whether or not it's gaming, it's sports, it's cars, it's TV, even guitars. I mean, fuck, anything you could think of. People are arguing over this shit. And I was thinking, I was telling Colt, I don't got to pay a damn thing to watch Steph Curry get dunked on. And people still argue about sports all day, and they watch it for free online or watch the highlights, whatever, right? A lot of people don't even watch it. They just watch the score. They still argue. Console guys and PC guys, at least, you're investing thousands of dollars, like hundreds of dollars in hardware at least once. Then you're buying all of these games, and people try to look down on you for having a discussion. You know, I say discussion because it does go too far, but you act surprised when people are calling each other fuckface over a game. Like, of course, people are going to argue about this shit, you know? And the weird thing is, a lot of these guys do the same shit in
Android
DMs.
guys? Damn.
Say what?
iPhone and Android people. Look at that fucking war.
That shit's
Holy
crazy.
Shit.
iPhone sucks. What are you talking about? iPhone sucks.
D-Batch is
D-Batch
tentacles.
got a freaking sniper rifle aimed at his head right now. You don't even know it.
He's like, iPhone sucks.
iPhone shot headshot.
My Galaxy Z Flip 3 will run circles.
See,
around your
D-Batch is a
iPhone.
prime example of what I'm speaking of right now. You know, he's just...
Didn't he just make a whole thing about being in harmony and good healthy?
he
And then he's like, "Fuck the iPhone."
Not when it comes to Apple people. No, we cannot tolerate
okay,
them.
so that's acceptable. Okay, yeah, I got you.
D-Badgers, I knew he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He was like, "Can't we have a healthy discussion?" Sharpening his knife and shit.
Headshot and fucking iPhone on a dartboard.
Oh man.
Chat, let us know, Android or iPhone. No judgment either way. They're both pieces of shit. That's what you should all know by now. If you all own one long enough.
More than a PC. God dang it, man.
Oh. Hey, but yeah, I think people invest a lot of money in gaming. It's no surprise that people are more I think they have more of a right to be passionately debating something about gaming than anything else just about. Like, unless you're talking about cars or something you spent even more money on. Like, you know, but it's okay for the sports guys to do it. You know, it's weird. You know, we talk about sports all the time too, but I'm just saying.
Just be logical with your arguments. That's all. Just like this cancel Game Pass because 2 games were delayed. It's just ridiculous. There's like tons of games that are in there still, and there's tons of games that are going to come out this year. Maybe not necessarily first party, but there's going to be tons of new games coming to Game Pass this year. The service gives you EA Play. It gives you all kinds of features, cloud-enabled play on your devices. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Hey, shout out to Garuda and Truda, by the way. $5 super chat says playing Mass Effect Trilogy for the first time. Incredible. Why buy studios when you can just handpick some of their best games for Game Pass? If it's your first time playing Game Pass, man, just hold your skull because your fucking head's going to explode. What did I say?
You said it first time playing Game Pass.
First time playing Game Pass? It's a all right game. Yeah, Mass Effect Trilogy.
Mass Effect's awesome.
Phenomenal. I just went through all three of those again. Shout out to Jordy as well. I like Jordy. He's from Xbox era. He's a nice, logical guy that was just a nice, logical guy. I'll leave it there. He's awesome. He became a new channel member, by the way. And also, shout out to everyone watching us live, guys. Over 1,300 watching us live. Hit the like button. Tell everybody too about the show as we do continue on our escapades towards another topic, which would be PlayStation locking down more Marvel games. This is actually from Windows Central. A Marvel game exclusive, Morbius in the Multiverse. Do you know anything about this? They say take this with a grain of salt, but this could be something PlayStation are actually doing. And we know they ruined the damn Morbius movie, but would they do that to a Morbius game? Is that you're the one that just got
a Morbius game be even good, remotely good? Like, what are you going to do in a Morbius game? He's not even a well-liked or known character to make a game on.
Well, I mean, I'd like to know if this is, what are the odds of this being real?
I don't even fucking know. Like, I'm looking it up and everything. Was it a troll or?
Windows Central, PlayStation has they locked down Marvel exclusive titles. Apparently, they said take it with a grain of salt. Go check their Twitter.
Miles Dompierre says, breaking, it sounds like PlayStation has locked down another Marvel exclusive, Morbius in the Multiverse of Morbness. Related, you fucking idiot. I think it's a troll.
The Multiverse of Morbness?
No, Morbness, bro. He said take it with a big grain of salt.
Oh my god.
They need a way to make it good, right?
I was just sitting there waiting.
Oh my god, you fucking
Zalker,
dumbass.
that's why I tried to come to you. I'm like, Zalker, look at this topic here. I couldn't believe that you didn't hear about this already, though.
I mean, no, I didn't see that at all. That's
can't
why I was
believe
like,
that.
wait, what? I was like, why the fuck?
I figured you would hear about this.
No, it was a troll,
You
bro.
piece of shit.
You got fucking Rick rolled by fucking Miles down here.
Oh my
bro.
god.
Never gonna.
You got Marlboro.
It was a last second edition, chat.
It was. Got him.
Got him.
funny.
God damn, that's almost like
Ugh.
the Fable leak.
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry,
that's
what?
not nearly as bad as the Fable League.
I'm sorry, I'm trolling.
Quote unquote.
No, I mean, we could talk about that one thing, right?
What
About
the
how
the
Xbox.
morbidness.
I mean, how Xbox. You wonder why Xbox passed on those exclusive games.
Oh my god.
They went to Sony. They're like, "You want Spider-Man?" They're like, "Yeah." They went to Xbox. "You want Morbius, Multiverse of Morbidness?" They're like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Shout out to Miles. The multiverse of morbidness. Oh my
God
god! Yeah,
damn
for some reason I thought the multiverse of madness. I just skimmed over it. I'm like, oh okay, we'll talk about that. Surely Zalker's got that one. No,
Oh my god.
Zalker didn't hear about that one for good reason.
Yeah, for good reason.
But we did already talk about Sony wanting to put half of their game, at least half of them on PC by 2025, which is obviously the case. And God of War Ragnarok, not creative developer, creative lead. You guys know Cory Barlog. He's not leading the project, right? Well, he says
He's not leading it. No, it was a new director on it.
Yeah.
They showed the guy when they did like the whole talk. Like I think they had a.
I know, and he's
was it
just
last
looking
year?
like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. It's like that's what it looks like. But Corey basically said, if you thought you had seen it all in video games, wait till you see God of War Ragnarok. That
Nice.
is what could that statement come from? Or is that Miles again typing that out?
I would
Let me
say
double-
maybe we're gonna
check.
get we're probably gonna get an expansion on the gameplay. I don't know, the environments, the story. God of War is a good game, man. It's a good game. And speaking of coming to PC, I don't think that game is gonna have such a long delay as the first one. I think it's gonna come to PC. If I had to guess, maybe 3 months after it comes out on PlayStation.
Yeah, but why would he be saying this though, D? If you thought you've seen it all in video games, I mean, wait until you see Ragnarok. What could they possibly be doing in Ragnarok that's going to do something that they don't think anyone's really seen?
I have no idea, man. I could only think maybe from a story. I don't know, man. I don't know. He seems confident when he's saying it, so he better deliver. They better deliver now.
I'm checking to see if he did say that shit.
He did say this.
Are you getting Rick rolled this week?
He did say this.
You people I know.
Did you have a Snickers bar? Come
Look,
on.
I'm allowed to fuck up once every 5 years, like that badly anyway. Hey, Joe, what were you gonna say? People, you know what?
I know a few people down there, and they're like crazy excited to show stuff. They haven't told me what it is, but I don't know. Maybe that kind of lines up with maybe this comment. But I know they're working crazy hard, and they're happily doing it because of what they're working on.
When do you think Ragnarok's coming out?
I mean, they kind of just delayed it, sort of, right? I mean, or they just said like we're not showing anything yet, because they wanted to fix it up. I'd be surprised if it was this year, but I'd be happy if it was this year because I'm excited to play that game.
Well, I mean,
November.
there are people that think it's definitely not going to make it this year, and that's what I want to know from the chat. If you think God of War is going to hit in 2022, let us know. If you don't, let us know. I know, I've got some friends that definitely don't think it's going to hit this year. By the way, shout out to Fonz. He's in the chat. We are waiting on him to get back. He should be back in a few weeks. But let us know.
As much as I want to see God of War this year, from a business standpoint, it kind of would make more sense to release it in January, where there's not so much competition, there's not so many games,
What
and
are
you
you
can
talking about?
really have the
Jesus.
limelight to yourself.
Dude, January and February, like games are already getting locked down. Like Jedi Fallen Order, the sequel's coming out at the beginning of the year. Like 2023 is looking like it's like the most competitive year in gaming that
Yeah,
we've
but when's
seen
it coming
in a long
out? It's
time.
coming out in January and
You
February.
know the
When's the
rules.
release date?
There's two games coming out at the beginning of the year. One January, one February. I know one of them is Star Wars, and I forgot what the other one was. But they're locking. Basically, right now, publishers are locking down dates. They're just like,
but
hey, we're stamping
Damn,
this year.
Skywalker said 2024.
But still, it would be a good time to release it because you wouldn't have to compete with all the
Who
holiday
the fuck
games.
are they
Just
competing
personally.
with this year?
Well, there's going to be COD this year that's coming out, and it's on a new engine. I think this year's COD's going to be good.
I mean, COD, Gotham Knights, and then Harry Potter.
Buzzy
Like,
Belvedere
that's it.
says it's definitely dropping this year. That's the fucking bottom line.
It's Fuzzy said so, bitch.
We don't know everything that's dropping this year in the holiday season too. We're gonna get some announcements throughout the summer too.
Shout out to
there's gonna be some
Forte.
other titles.
I think
that
it
get
comes
added,
out
right?
end of September, beginning of October, because there's a gap there. There's not much coming out. Call of Duty usually comes out like what, October 25th, around there. October, like towards the end, and so does Gotham Knights. If you look at like Sony, they've dropped Spider-Man in the middle of September, beginning of September. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's an end of September thing. They have their game show in September. They have maybe a gameplay showing in July, August, and then God of War comes out. That's just me.
The reason why I say that is because some of the games that they delayed, like the last go round when they delayed them to January, February, those games sold pretty good in that time period. So I'm just thinking maybe they're looking at the numbers and thinking, hey, you know what? It might be better if, we release it when it's not so inflated with games. And, with Microsoft not releasing those games this fall, it also gives them a window to take more time on the game and release it at a later date because they don't really have to compete with Xbox per se.
You know
This
what?
is my
Speaking of compete, I wish these soldiers, I'm getting my scalps. I wish these soldiers would compete with my melee attacks because I'm just walking around shanking people. Hey, by the way, I should have known because last time Miles was on this show, he told us Xbox was buying Sega. Y'all remember that?
You're just mad that you got bamboozled.
We got bamboozled twice, damn it.
I don't know where this Wii shit came from. You got bamboozled.
Okay, you got bamboozled once. I got bamboozled twice.
All
right? Because right now, I don't think Xbox, they don't own Sega.
You're such a.
That's what you get, Miles. No, seriously though, chat. Thanks for checking us out, guys. This is Sniper Elite 5 on Game Pass with some buddies of mine. We're playing. We're having fun. Have you played this game yet, Joe?
Not yet. I haven't played any of them since the first one, like forever ago. So
You got to get your scalps.
feels like it's the way to go. It's looking good.
It's a really good game, man.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's a lot of fun. It's pretty expensive too. It's pretty big. Every map is actually massive. Like it's taken me like at least 2 to 3 hours to clear every map because I do every single thing in it. But there's so much cool shit that you wouldn't find, like underground tunnels and a bunch of stuff where it's like, whoa, like I didn't see this coming, and it's pretty expansive. Like surprised at how good it is.
Shout out to Mr. Bushido, Gaz, Jordy, as well as the A2. We've got Bud the Cyborg, so many others. Jedi Knight Peter, as well as Mr. McWiggles. Shout out to you, buddy. Splendiferous. I just talked to him at a party the other day, man. Shout out to you guys. Again, we're talking about the latest and greatest. That's my subject change, Zachary. We played a lot of Sniper Elite 5. I think I'm on level 7, but I've got like 300 gamer score in it, I think, so far. I mean, you know, it's kind of a lot for that level, but it's a good time if you guys haven't played it. God of War Ragnarok's proven to be probably what will be a good time as well. Joe, you're saying you're hearing that they're basically pretty excited to show the game more and release the game. And Corey Barlog's over here saying, hey, if you think you've seen it all in games, you know, you haven't seen God of War Ragnarok. I mean, it's kind of a big statement, man, and especially considering he's not even leading the team. Speaking of, I wonder what the hell he's working on.
Probably a new IP.
Probably Teletubby game.
He talked about saying that he was like he put 6-7 years in that game, the God of War, and that he needs something different. Like he just needed to walk away from it and do something different. And he worked on it right when it was created. So he's been on God of War basically like a majority of his career when you look at it. So he's working on something new, and we'll see. I mean, Sony Santa Monica is just, you know, to me, I know everybody thinks like Naughty Dog is the best, but Sony Santa Monica to me they have my favorite franchise or one of my favorite franchises in God of War, and they've done a very good job, and I'm excited to see. I want God of War this year. I do. I want it. I want to play it. I don't give a fuck.
Same.
I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see what he does next, just for the simple fact of the direction where he took God of War. It was such a drastic change to the God of War that we were used to. He really thought out the box, and it was a smash hit. And I think that's going to give him, as a developer, more confidence to, you know, realize his goals and dreams or his aspirations in game development. And I think he's going to create something great, man. I'm excited. And I'm excited for God of War. And don't get me wrong, I do hope it comes out this year, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out early next year too.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to the Asher Lucas. She's in the chat. Zachary, you want to grab her super chat and a few others?
Yeah, let me scroll.
We got to give a shout out to everybody checking us out, guys. You're amazing. Thank you very much.
So I can start from Danny Passion. So Danny Passion Official says, I found out that my friend husband listens to RDX Fire. Nice.
Your friend's husband listens to RDX.
Yeah.
That's fire. Thank you very much, Dad.
It is. Thanks. We got Flame. I'm crying from the Morbius F up from dealer. It's a new thing, bro. It's the new thing.
Morbius. Oh, fuck.
So we got Gaz, the insider. He says, my source now tells me Halo has been delayed. What a fucking troll.
What a piece of shit. Tell Colt to stop telling you stuff.
Yeah, we got Splendiferous. He says, saved a bunch of money because of Game Pass. Stop it.
Stop it.
We got new member RG Viper X. Well, just as new member. Thank
Shout out to you, buddy.
Member. Yeah, we got Tommy Hatchery says, if God of War gets delayed, I'm canceling my PlayStation Plus.
Oh, fuck.
I'm throwing my PS5 out the window.
Hey, don't worry about it, Tommy. It's not going to be in PlayStation Plus day and date anyway, so, they don't want that.
So we got the Ashen Luca. What's up, Luca? And if I talk about how I broke my legs in Sniper Elite 5 while we were playing, also hope to see Wolfenstein 3 at the showcase.
Yeah, I was playing Wolf 2 today, and there's a dynamic resolution toggle in the settings. You turn it off so you can play the game at 4K, 60 FPS. It looks fucking phenomenal still 5 years later. If you haven't played Wolf 2 on the Series X, it's a good time.
I finished a great game.
Yeah.
Both of those games are amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
Fire Z71, these games can wait. I'm still catching up. Sniper Elite and Halo is enough to justify my ultimate for the yes, and yes, I have a PlayStation to console wars lame.
Yeah,
all right.
Sniper Elite has already made me feel like, oh, okay, I'm getting a lot of value out of this. I've already put like 15, 20 hours in the game.
Yeah, same.
So,
Same. It's good. Hey, can I say something about Wolfenstein?
Yeah.
Okay, so, because I want to be a fraud too. I don't think 3 is being made or coming out. I mean, maybe it was in development at some point.
You,
I just don't know.
Machine Games is making Indiana Jones, so
why do you got to put that evil out there?
I don't know, man. I just freaking I don't want to be hurt. I thought Morbius was coming because of my buddy, and then now I'm thinking Wolfenstein. Here we go.
Well, just don't look in the mirror, bitch, and don't listen to anything Miles says.
When I look in the mirror, I'm very disappointed.
Hey, but seriously, I mean,
Miles.
Wolf 3 is definitely coming.
I just because if you look at the timeline, like 2017 they released Wolf 2, 2019 they helped develop the that co-op.
It was a very small group that helped. Yes.
I get it, but then and then now they're working on
they have multiple
Indiana
teams
Jones. There. I'm just saying, I don't know. We'll see. I hope it happens. I want to be wrong, but I just don't. I feel like everybody's kind of expecting it to either get like an announcement this year. Because if it doesn't get announced this year or next year, then when the fuck is it going to get announced?
The year after.
I mean, but then what about Indiana Jones?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Fuck. I mean, they're allowed to work on more than one game at a time, damn it.
I'm just saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
We know they haven't been working on Indiana Jones for 5 years. We know that. We know they didn't work on a lot of that with Youngblood. We know that was not the full might of the team either, and that was a collaboration with another studio.
They worked on Indiana Jones for 5 years?
No, I said we know they didn't.
Oh, okay.
And we know that Wolf 2 came out in 2017. So there's a massive gap there for a project called Wolfenstein 3.
And a lot of the people from id Tech actually helped with the Wolfenstein. A lot, that's been known because they use the same engine, right? So a lot of people helped there, and they're working on, right? They worked on Doom Eternal, completely.
Wolf will push technology, then Doom will hit, and it'll push the id Tech 7. Yeah, they'll kind of reiterate and iterate on the engine. But
I'm just saying, listen, I'm just putting it out there. I don't know.
Stop putting that evil out there with your 2 legs.
God damn it. I just, I want it.
All right. Well, you didn't want Dead Space remake.
I don't want, I just want new IPs. God damn.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just stop. But yeah, big shout out to Luca, by the way. She says, appreciate y'all. She says, thank you very much. $20 super chat as well. Okay, you already got that on Fire Z. But yeah, we're going to move forward, guys. Again, let us know your thoughts in the chat on what you think about Wolfenstein 3, if it's going to hit. And what you want to see, because that game, it's so mature in its tone. It's so fucked up. I once tricked Colt Eastwood into shooting the dog at the beginning, which is fucked up because I'm an animal person. But I just wanted to see if he would do it for a gamer score, and he totally did it. And I called him a piece of shit after. But I mean, that game is so crazy, and the themes in it, and just they just do what they do very well. Playing that today, I was like, man, I'm definitely running back through this, and barring some kind of Bethesda enhancement collection they need to come out with, that game could look and run even better, than it already does. So I don't know if that'll happen though, but There is some information on Scorn, by the way. Waldick, new developer update, basically says that this game is going to hit in October 2022. Scorn is the game with the umbilical
With the dick
cord
drip.
and the wall thing. And Joe, you've seen Scorn, right?
Yeah, Scorn looks crazy.
It does, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah, it's like HK Geiger stuff. All the art, like very aliens-esque, and the guns are all like all living things. And
you're
it's
using
crazy.
like teeth and bone as bullets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on PC already, right? So I just don't understand what's taking this so long.
Is it on PC?
Isn't it?
I don't think so.
Maybe Miles tweeted that out. Hang on.
You're such a fucking fraud today.
No, I don't think it was on PC. I think there
It's
was
not.
an
It's
early,
October. It's October, and it's only
There was an-
Xbox and Windows. So it's only Xbox and PC. And no, it's not out at all. It's not out on PC. You fucking fraud.
It's not.
No, but
well,
there-
there's a
there-
ton of gameplay up of it.
Yeah, there was an early build of the game. It didn't look that early, to be honest with you, where you could.
So this whole time we've been talking about Scorn, nobody's ever said it's not on PC.
I never thought it released on PC. I never
Yeah,
thought it
it's-
released.
No, it's not on PC, but there was some type of, I don't know, some channel had like an hour of gameplay of it or something. So I don't know
IGN
if it
released
was
a ton of it
developer.
too. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but it hasn't officially come out yet. But we do have a lot of footage to look at.
All right. Well, hey, that's why we have multiple people here to talk about it. In case one of us is apparently sleeping. And Scorn is not out on PC, and hopefully it will be, because that game looks really, really weird, and that's the kind of stuff Tim Dog's into. That's the kind of stuff Tim Dog's into.
Fuck you, Tim Dog.
All right, TCL, they apparently leaked the new Xbox and PlayStation. They're coming in 2023, 2024. This is nothing more than a demonstration as to what their I.O. will be able to handle.
Hello.
There you go, Tim.
There he is.
All right. fuck you too, Zucker.
There he is. It's like he just came out of a well.
No, I couldn't chat. I was
know.
talking and it wouldn't go. I had to restart my whole computer.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, so
That's
you've
why
been
I
gone
left.
for a minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk about God of War. I'm like, yeah, God of War's coming. I'm like, why are these fucks not answering me?
So you think God of War is hitting this year?
Yes, I do. I think that they already delayed it, and they're supposed to come from 2022, which was I think they shot for the stars for that one. I do think it's going to come. Take it with a grain of salt. The video game figures and the toys that usually coincide with launch are slated for September. So I think if they had their way, they would definitely want it to come in September.
Yeah,
a good date.
we were talking about this TCL thing, and everyone's running with, hey, they confirmed the next consoles here and here, and all this stuff. When really,
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
them having the first 4 or 8K 120 TVs or whatever, right, or some shit.
Yeah, that all bullshit.
Yeah, I
You
just
know,
saw a lot of people
all-
running with it.
Yeah, well, they actually said. I mean, if you looked at the thing, like they were just going, I think, by history of Xbox and Xbox
They were going by
Pro.
last generation
Yeah.
only.
Right. They were only going, but the truth of the matter is that Sony's, especially Sony's, really in the mind for if they had to do any kind of refresh, it would be to a smaller, to maybe 6 nanometer.
Get the price down.
Get the price down, get the shortages, get a better yield, that type of stuff. I don't think we're going to see pro consoles. At least, I don't think we're going to see them all generation, but I don't think you see pro consoles for. I think you're just going to see revisions. Things get smaller. Things get more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of stuff and a lot of rumors of a PlayStation 5 Pro, and if these rumors are true, I would assume that Xbox would have to respond. And then we're hearing some things, some leaks that Xbox is working on a new chip, and it could. Personally, my thoughts are that in 2024, if this were to happen, that would be the date, 2024. I think if these come out in 2024, we're not just going to see, a more efficient console with the same performance envelope. I think we would get, a performance jump. But if this were to happen, it would only happen in 2024. And I think a big factor of this happening, in my opinion, is Unreal Engine 5. I think Unreal Engine 5, when it really starts to hit, it's going to hit different, and it's going to require a pretty beefy, GPU. It's going to require some specs, and I think we could possibly see an upgrade in 2024. I don't think it would happen anytime before that. And I know the consoles seem like they've been generally out just a short while, which is kind of true. But 2024 would actually be 4 years after the consoles came out. So
I think it's
can't
all based on
100%
supply and
rule it out.
demand, though. And right now, no one's demanding a better, faster Xbox or PlayStation. We are bitching because they haven't even begun to leverage the damn boxes we already have. And most people can't even get a hold of one.
I agree, but once again, I really think when Unreal Engine 5 starts to hit, I think
We've already
people's
seen a
minds
Series
will
S
change
running that Matrix demo in real time.
Yeah, but it's going to be running a lot of them at 30 FPS. It's going to be running them with compromises.
Well, they
although
could
it
have
will
just
run it.
cut the resolution more, cut the settings. I mean, it's just not
I
necessary,
don't know.
D-Batch. It's just not.
I don't know. As a tech guy, man, I just want to see tech moving. Like I know, I play a lot on PC, and it's common for us to always upgrade. And I don't think it's unreasonable to upgrade the consoles every 4 years. That's
Yeah,
just
except
my
for
take
you
on
got.
it.
I get what you're saying, and I accept and respect your take. I just think developers are key, and I think the more platforms you got out there, it's just not cohesive. At least if you drop something past day one, you've got half the devs that don't got it. The other half is like, fuck it, I guess I'll make something because now I got to make something else. If I'm going to make for this, it's got to work for that now. I think they're just going to try to avoid all that shit. We've talked about this, but Joe, you are a developer. You've seen some of these stuff, these early dev kits and all this stuff. What would your thoughts be if you saw a PS5 Pro hit next year after, and then Xbox? What do you think about that, and how would Xbox have to respond? Would they respond? Is it all kind of not needed?
I generally would think it's not needed right now. I don't think anyone's really pushing the hardware yet. I think we're still kind of building like we're building for the last gen, and then it just happens to look better and run faster and stuff. For the most part, I can't imagine that they're not both working on stuff, even if it's small teams, like asking what's next, what's the future.
Yeah.
But like you said, we're not like done buying them, so they don't need to. It'd be a waste of money to do another release when a quarter of the people who want them have them.
Yeah.
So
the demand's
and
not
for
there,
me
right?
as a dev, it's a headache. So just leave it for a while. let me get the next game or two out, and then we can worry about the next thing.
Yeah. Because games take years to build, right? And you're talking developers that launch one game and they're like, well, on the fucking new thing out, we gotta fucking all that stuff. So
Yeah, gotta test and do the the official next gen patch and.
when
all
in
that
reality,
fun
it's just
stuff.
PC
Next
settings.
gen patch.
PC settings just ramping up on our consoles now. Like it's that simple.
Yeah, for the most part.
Biff Romaldi, by the way, says I just got here. Start over. Shout out to you, buddy. We've got a ton of great people in the chat. Again, anybody else got any other takes on this TCL thing? I saw a lot of journalists running with this, and basically running with TCL leaking. And a lot of people make videos on this too. TCL leaking new Xbox and PlayStation stuff. Nobody else has a damn take on this. This is kind of something people actually latch on to.
It's just them basically preempting and talking about the future of their TVs and shit like that. Like it's nothing. They're not saying that it's coming out. It's just it is what it is, right? Like I don't think there's any new consoles coming out for multiple years. And from what we're looking at and what everybody said, people have been on guests on this show is that consoles like we might get one more generation, but after that it might not happen. So I don't know if we're going to be doing even more consoles when they can't even get this shit out now. So I think everybody needs to fucking cool their jets on this. It's like, come on.
TLC wants to sell resolution. They want to sell frames per second. So they're going to talk about 8K and 120. And not many things are capable. One of the things that are capable, or in the future will be capable, will be video games. But I just think that, the amount of people that gave that article credibility, not even that they try to say that it was this, it's just TLC has no freaking idea. They're not in touch with Microsoft.
It's TCL, sir.
TCL.
TLC, no scrubs, bitch.
It's just them talking resolution. I don't think you should get caught up on this at all.
The 8K thing was kind of weird to see the 8K 120 FPS. I'm pretty sure that the next cards from AMD and from Nvidia, the 4090s and like the 7900s, whatever. I'm pretty sure they're going to be capable of 8K,
Yeah.
close to 120 FPS. But who the hell has an 8K TV and who wants an 8K TV? Nobody is.
Yeah.
There's no content out there for an 8K 120 hertz. When you get these GPUs, it's going to be such a niche market of people that go out and actually get a 4090 for ever how much it costs. So I just don't see it happening. I think the next wave is pretty much the quantum dot OLEDs. I think everybody's clamoring, myself included, to get a quantum dot OLED. And I think people just want like a good 4K OLED, quantum dot OLED TV. And I think that's going to carry us out for like 2, 3, 4 years. 8K, it's just nothing that supports it. Television is so behind. There's not a lot of 4K content on TV shows. Yeah, Netflix and that stuff. But
It's still record at 720. That's how.
Yeah, and at the
Yeah.
same time, the internet that's needed to stream 8K, it's just not there. So I don't understand the push of 8K. Like they tried it like 3, 4 years ago, pretty much right after they released 4K TVs. 8K is just not going to be a thing anytime soon.
When you come to, and I know this is a little off subject, but don't you come to a point where like 4K 120? How much better can 8K 120 be? I mean,
Well,
yeah,
it's reserved for
just
screen
like,
sizes like 75 and up, so we're really going to see the difference.
Yeah,
And even that's
yeah.
based on where you're sitting in the room. It's all about pixel
Yeah.
density and how close you are to those pixels, if it even makes a difference. But yeah, 4K. I mean, again, it's you're good with 4K, and the hardware to even push for 8K. It's not needed, not necessary. Put that horsepower into ray tracing
Yeah.
and further graphics kind of technologies that you can actually toggle.
Yeah, 8K to experience it, you gotta be really close if you have like a 55-inch, or you get like a large 77 and bigger TV to really take the advantage of the extra pixels and the higher
Yeah.
resolution. But like I said, 8K, it's a long way off. They're gonna have to add something. I know what they're gonna probably add to 8K because I know behind the scenes they have prototypes of 8K 3D TV. So that might be something that they usher in with 8K TVs, is glassless 3D stuff like that. But 8K, it's a long way off, man. Let's just concentrate on the 4K. And I got to give kudos to Samsung. I know we're not really talking about TVs here, but I'm just going to throw this in. Their new QD OLED, you can actually overclock it to 144 hertz. So it is possible to get these 4K TVs up to 144 hertz. And I don't see anything maxing that out at 4K, anytime soon for the average consumer. Maybe for the guy that's got 4,000, 5,000 to throw on a card, but for the average consumer, they're not going to max it out anytime soon. So we're good where we're at.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, it's serious. I can't state this enough, and I think you could hear it in Joe's voice. We're really not even beginning to push the damn hardware we have. And for to any kind of iterative stuff, and like I could report on that stuff all day long, be like, here's what I think is going to happen. Do I think it's going to happen at all? If they did, how would they maintain the heat? Like the good old days. But it would be hard for me to even maintain some kind of enthusiasm about it, because I'm like, this isn't going to happen. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me right now. So I don't know, guys. Let us know if you think it's going to happen. That's really what I want to know.
Let me just add to what you said there about them not using the features. Now, Joe, being a developer and being there in Microsoft, what is the reason why these developers are not taking advantages of the stuff that's in the Series X, all the DX12 Ultimate features, variable rate shading, mesh shaders? There's so much tech that they're not actually using that's been available for quite some time. Like even FSR, we're not seeing a lot of games using FSR. FSR 2.0 is out. We're not hearing any announcements of games that will be using FSR 2.0, which I think would really help the consoles, especially with games that are doing ray tracing or games that you want to get up to 120 FPS.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know why FSR is not getting pulled in like real fast. I was just working on DLSS for NVIDIA stuff, and that's as plug and play as it gets, and I added like 80 frames to what I'm working on just in 10 minutes.
What did that involve? You're saying 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
80
no
more
joke.
frames?
That's Unreal being amazing is what that is. Like just super good at adding plugins and Nvidia's plugin working really well.
And DLSS, by the way, you do have to send it into them to basically have them run it through something, correct?
No, it's just the plugin itself is running some AI stuff that then is like hyper scaling or super scaling the resolution to get more performance out of it.
Oh, okay. Because I thought developers had to send like something into NVIDIA for them to run it through their DLSS algorithm or something. Maybe they've changed it since.
That might have been true early on, but I mean, I didn't do that. I literally plugged it in and cranked it on performance, and I went from like 140 to 200 and something. And
jeez.
Yeah,
and that's
DLSS
it. No, that's it. So that's
DLSS is
DLSS,
amazing,
basically like a reconstruction technology. Think of it like simplified version would be like checkerboarding, but way better. And you're basically to flip a switch, getting 80 more frames per second.
Yeah, it was wild, and
that's what God of War does.
Yeah, and the other one's supposed to be similar. I don't think it's using AI stuff, but it's doing the same stuff. And like I think I don't know why that's not getting used. I haven't tried that one yet. That's next on my list.
It's in the GDK apparently.
It's driving me mad because FSR 2.0 is really good compared to DLSS 2.0, and it's not even using AI. It's like a trained AI algorithm, but the results are like, real man, good. It's like you really gotta like crank it and say, oh, okay, maybe here in this little corner. Like it's really hard to tell the difference. I just don't get it. With consoles, this is optimal technology to be used on them.
No, I got a question for Joe though. So let's say Unreal has a baked-in reconstruction method or checkerboarding method in there, right? Is it temporal?
Yeah, temporal.
Can you stack that with DLSS?
That is a good question. I have not tried that.
So you're talking about 80 frames going up to past 120.
You would what I would guess would happen is that they would conflict with each other, and you'd get some really nasty artifacts. Yeah, where they're one of them. It would happen in a stack. So one would do it, and then you'd get whatever noise from that. Then the other one would come in and try to do its job on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But those are taxing to use those. So using two of them might be pretty gnarly because one's gonna have to go before the other one.
Yeah, probably make a lot of latency.
You'd probably have a lot of latency, yeah, even if you get a really nice picture. But there's got to be a reason that wouldn't work, and I don't know what it is because it sounds too good to be true, right? We'd all just
checkerboard everything over.
Yeah.
I wonder how long until the toggle for just reconstruct ray tracing, calf the performance on ray tracing, right, or something, and maybe the cost of some haze, but. I don't know. I do want to move forward, though, guys. Shout out to over 1,300 people still watching this, guys. We do appreciate it. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. We do appreciate it. We are talking about all the latest and greatest. Zachary, we got any new chats here? If not, I can jump on this last topic.
We got MR Rivera says, "Stop defending Xbox. We want new exclusive games." Okay. All right. Whoever's defending them. Good. Okay.
Hang on. You can't just gloss over that. MR Rivera, you phone in on your walkie-talkie declaring war, and you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Who the hell is defending Xbox?
I heard Joe defending them.
Damn it,
Hey,
Joe!
you know what? If Xbox, I got a game for them. They should call me.
Joe's got a new game for Xbox. They should call him.
Yeah,
I'm down.
I'll message Aaron.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
I'll be like, Aaron, there's a lot of really nice Jordans. He wants to talk about them. You're going to have to get a hold of him.
Oh, my God.
Hey, go ahead, though.
We got Drawn TJ says, "Hey, what up, guys? TCL is garbage. They don't know what they're talking about. Keep up the great content. Everyone hit that like button." Thanks, Drawn TJ.
Shout out to you, Drawn TJ, man. Appreciate it.
Don't go chasing console wars, man.
Oh, shit.
We got Fire Z71, Wolf 3, Doom Eternal 2, GTA 6, Max Payne 4, Manhunt 3, Mad Max 2, Turok Remake, Days Gone 2, short version of my dream list.
The short version.
Sounds
the
great.
short version. I mean, I'm down with a lot of those minus Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Days Gone too.
Shut up, D. We also got joking, bro. We got Drawn TJ again. He says, "I don't want a damn refresh. Our consoles are powerful enough. We can just get upgrade downloads. I mean, look at auto HDR and FPS boost and other things we didn't need to get a new console to get those features."
Yeah, software is always important, right?
Yep.
And then we got another one from Drawn TJ.
John TJ. Joe, do you think we need a mid-gen refresh? I would like to know your opinion as a game developer. It was all in caps, Joe. I had to do it.
Hey, no, it's good.
It was all in caps. I had to do it, dude. I got to be authentic with the super chat.
I do not think so. I think we need to make better software to support the hardware. Unreal Engine, when that stuff starts coming in, like Dee was talking about, of course, Unreal, it would look even better with better hardware, but like the Matrix demo came out right as the new gen was coming out, and that shit looks so fucking good.
Yeah, man.
The stuff they're going to be able to do in 2, 3, 4 years on the same hardware is going to blow your fucking mind. And at some point, we have to stop putting it into graphics and putting it into AI and putting it into other systems putting it into better animation systems, because the games look photorealistic if you stop moving around. I'm dying for teams to make better animation systems. Yeah. I'm an animator, so I'm biased, but it just screams fake the second stuff moves. So
you're right, and Sniper Elite
put the focus on that.
Sniper Elite's a culprit of that, and that leads. I wanted to, since you're bringing that up, that's why we were excited about that little Undead team that's branching out and building out custom animations and systems to actually improve on basically all of their games. What are your thoughts on teams like that actually saying, hey, we realize that animations do set games apart, so much so that that's what we think next generation can be about, at least in part?
I'm all for it. I think I'm biased, like I said, because I'm an animator, but like it is one of the things that we've left behind with all the modernization of visuals and stuff. I think there's some games like For Honor is one that comes to mind always as like an amazing animation system. They've done breakdowns of it, and it'll blow your mind. But
Red
no
Dead
one
2,
else is.
or Red Dead 2, yeah.
Red Dead does some really
Last
crazy
of
good
Us
stuff.
Last of Us.
But those are like they're so on the fringe of what everybody else is doing, you know, and I'm guessing the system is hard to work with, and they had to just pour man hours into it, and so we need systems that are easier to use, so we can, you know, like we need the mega scans of animation to come out, and you know, to make it easier for us and to make tons of content.
Can AI help with the animations?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of stuff like on the edges that people are trying to like fully animate with AI, and it, you know, you'll see here's the 10,000th attempt at this weird dog thing to walk across this cliff, and it's, you know, it looks stupid, but it's crazy. And I think there's no reason that, you know, what we always talked about at 343, our sort of dream was to be able to be animators that teach AI what we want them to look like, so it can be stylized still and look like Halo or look like Master Chief, for example, but have AI fill in all these gaps of content that you don't get otherwise, and add all that like realistic noise to the motions that it's hard to get with hand keys.
Yeah, I think a lot of that animation restriction too was due to lackluster CPUs in the last gen consoles, right? Because that's animation is CPU driven, and you're already dropping frames like a mother, right? And I think they sacrificed on that stuff, and that's where it's into 16 threads can really do a lot for you. Is you got all this room to do whatever the hell you want on the CPUs, like physics, animation, all kinds of stuff, AI. That's where a lot of these big leaps are going to come in.
Yeah, they come first fast when it comes for performance, and they start compressing the animation, and then, you know, you see guys running at like 10 frames a second when you get 30 feet out, because they don't care about us. They leave us in the dirt.
Yep.
And we want
skipping around in the background.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh man. Well, I mean, either way, it's still good to hear about that stuff. I mean, by the way, when Jess Corden was talking about Keystone, right? This is exclusive. This one's legitimate, guys. Okay. Windows Central. They're talking about Keystone.
Let me double check.
Being a streaming stick, currently undergoing feature testing at Microsoft. So this is something that we talked about. This is something we talked about years ago on the channel, like 2018.
It's a streaming puck, not stick. God damn it, dude.
Well, in the actual text, it says stick, but it could be a puck as well. But this is something we talked about back in 2018. Or they could potentially release an Apple TV competitor that could not only have your entertainment on it, but also stream Xbox Game Pass and everything else that's on the cloud. That's not just limited to Game Pass. And this is something, you know, by the time it comes out, probably 5 years later, that they're finally getting it out.
Yeah.
This puck thing seems legit, and it is there to compete with Roku and Apple TV 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Elsewise,
And
why wouldn't you
that's
just
what
use
they're
your
trying
phone?
to do. And that's what they're trying to do. I'm sure this is going to have, all the other like apps on the Netflix, whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point is to make it easy and accessible for, however they sell that, like what, $100, if not 50, $75. Like that's what they sell those little puck things for. And I'm sure there'll be different types. Like you could get one that can stream 1080. You could get one that streams, 4K like all the other ones have. And it's just going to have people like stay in the living room, right? Get that puck going, and you can play games on Game
Better
Pass.
yet,
Or
I mean, take the
Xbox.
living room to a different room if you have more than one puck, or maybe you can use your console as a server and stream it to a different TV in a different room. I think that's kind of one of the bigger, broader pictures of this as well.
If this thing can compete with like the Fire Sticks and the Rukus, I think more of the Fire Sticks, because the Fire Sticks sell like crazy. I don't know what type of operating system they would use. Maybe if they used Android, then you could get a host of apps on there as well. But just a simple fact that it would have these apps like Netflix and the regular host of apps, and do the cloud streaming at like a $50 price point or a $75 price point, I think that'd be a mega hit, because the cloud for you and I, it's something that we might just play, the odd time. But once again, we're not the casual consumer. The casual gamer the casual gamer is the one that really spends a lot of money, and this is something that would appeal to the casual gamer. $75 to be able to play console games, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
again,
I
it's a
think
gateway,
right now-
right? So you see all this stuff on this puck, and you're like, what is all this? You go in there, you discover all these games, and you're like, whoa, hang on, I can play this and to look better on what's called an Xbox. What the hell is that? It's probably home back something else, right? And they go by that, and then they kind of become a console gamer through something like this potentially as well. But it's largely a utility tool as well. You can kind of stream to different
It'll probably,
stuff.
It
Go ahead, Tim.
basically adds a device or a screen to your subscriptions, and it's definitely with Game Pass in mind. It's just think about it. They're gonna have a family share, and you would supposedly have up to 6 screens you could use. Think about it that way. Just think about it the screen way, and this will give you the ability to have a working controller with a puck on a USB port off of your TV, and you basically have Xbox with streaming quality. Is it going to compare to local level Xbox? No, but it's just giving you that that the availability to put Xbox anywhere. And is it coming? Yeah, it's definitely coming, and it's just part of their 2 billion gamer screen strategy, and it's nothing to go crazy about. It means nothing. You can never use it. Or if you have a TV and you just want a game on a little here and there, and you want something cool, you could probably buy it for $100. You get a controller with it, and it boots up, and you can play it on the HDMI port. That's as simple as it is.
Well, it's to compete with, like we said, the big guys, right? Like I think Amazon Fire TV owns about like 16% of the streaming services. Roku owns like 15%. Gaming consoles altogether, so this is all consoles, have about 12.8%, and then Apple TV has 11%. So those are the top ones, right? And if you look at what Xbox is doing, like they're going to try to compete with Amazon and Apple, right? Like Amazon's getting into gaming. Apple is rumored to be buying EA, right? Like they're the front runners for that. So what do you think they're going to do? You think they're just going to keep everything on console and PC? No, they're going to put it on their streaming device because they have one. Apple TV
what do you
has
think
been around
something
for a
like that
while.
would be called, though? I mean, risk it, by the way, is his marketing idea. Get pucked with Xbox. The puck.
I'm down.
The puck. I mean, what do you want to call it? I mean, what would it be called? Would it be branded as Xbox or Microsoft branded? I think they want to compete with Apple.
Xbox family fuck.
That's really
my
weird,
God.
Tim Dog, and I don't know what your browser history is like. Also,
Xbox.
so it probably
Xbox,
It'd probably be
Xbox
branded.
Family something.
Okay, let's
Xbox. I don't know what the title. I don't know what the title could be. Xbox Stream or Xbox
Oh my
Stream.
God.
Like,
I said
whatever.
puck, by the way.
Okay,
Dealer.
all right, all right. Hey, by the way, I think it would be Microsoft marketing this, not necessarily Xbox, right? Because they want to compete with Apple. They want to compete with these other devices. Microsoft have a puck, whatever Tim called it.
But I think that you have to look at it and you have to just. The thing that I worry is like people say, "Oh, this is all Xbox is going to be. This is all Xbox is going to be." It's nothing. It's just an added, an added way to play games, or or like Zorka says, to have a stick with gaming, a Fire Stick. It gives you that added extra availability to play games, to watching Netflix. Nothing more than that. I mean, I can already see people Xbox is converting to a puck. No, it's not happening.
Did people really saying that?
Yeah, I saw some of the stuff. It's just some of the stuff that you have to swift through.
Convert to a puck.
Meanwhile,
because they're
what
selling
they don't
so horribly.
realize,
They're selling so well. They
Xbox-
wish they wouldn't count the
yeah.
Series S sales, but they're converting to a puck.
The consoles are running in the servers that are running these games, though. That's what they don't get. But no, I'm all for it. Because for me, and I explained that last week on the family, if family's an affordable price, I might give it to a couple of members of my family. Sure, they can play on my Game Pass or whatever. But for me, like a TV that I don't use for Xbox, now I can put the puck on it and have that availability just to have it. You know what I mean? Maybe one day I want to play in that room or whatever. So I'm all for it, and I love the availability and expansion of the idea.
Yeah, I want Joe's thoughts on this, Zachary. You want to grab these super chats real quick and we get Joe's thoughts, and we can do some outros. We got a lot of awesome people in the chat, by the way. Mr. Bushido, Risk It. We got Pixelbit G, and so many others. Timmy, you guys are amazing. Go ahead, Zachary.
We got Nate Food Dog. He says, "Puck your living room today."
Stupid.
We got Not Andy just tuning in. Did anyone see Top Gun over the weekend? If not, holy moly, go see it.
I keep hearing so many good things about this damn movie.
So have I.
I'm seeing it this upcoming weekend. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to watch it, but I'm looking forward to it. I think the first one's all right. But,
Joe said it was a piece of shit, but I'm still going to go see it. He didn't actually say that.
He's like, watch yourself. Watch yourself. We got Danny Passion Official says, a built-in TV app is the best option. Yeah, but it depends on contracts and stuff. Like, wasn't like HBO Max not on Samsung or LG for like the longest time because they had a Samsung contract deal for like a year?
Yeah, and the TV app isn't going to be able to bounce signals from one display to the other, most likely, and all that.
You might get some some latency, and let's not forget the elephant in the room. Sony's definitely not going to allow it on their TVs, and this is just a way to bypass having to make it work with all TVs. Just release your own device. That's simple HDMI. Plug it in. That's it. It works.
Yep. Hey, Joe, I want to know your thoughts on this this pucking device here. How's it going to work, and how many of these do you already have?
Oh yeah, no, I got like 100 or so. I'm worried it's a pyramid scheme. They keep telling me I got to sell them.
You got to sell them and recruit people.
No, I'm so down. I think if it works the way that you want it to, which is you could put it on all your TVs, have one kit, in the main room or whatever, and play stuff in your bedroom or whatever. I'm all for it. I think that's awesome. The cloud stuff is clearly working for them. I think that's just going to keep getting better and better. And if there's a way to cheaply expand my Xbox network within the house, I'm all for it.
Hell yeah. And this makes people more apt to get on their servers, right? Be another active user and to maybe buy a new game.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the S is already showing that people want to be in the Xbox ecosystem, and it's great that they have a cheap option. I mean, and this is just another one of those things. It's just here, come in, enjoy stuff this way, and people will come for sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to thank you for all your thoughts, man. A lot of good perspective as always. It was awesome having you on again. The chat always loves seeing you on the show again. I want to know what you're working on. You don't got to tell us. But, you did say you want Xbox to call you. You got something to show them. And, I endorse that. I definitely want to see what you're working on. I think I have a clue. I won't say anything, but if you want to hint, you can, but at least tell people where they can find you. And what have you been playing, man? Thanks for coming on to Real Dough Xbox podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's always a lot of fun. It's fun to talk from the dev side about all this new stuff. I really like it. You can hit me up at Song of Iron on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. And Jesus, you asked me so many questions.
Basically, do you want to talk about what you're doing next at all?
I am working on something right now. I'm going to announce it in a few months, probably. I've got the trailer. It's sitting on my desktop right now, and it's done. And I just got to wait a little bit. I got to get out of all this E3 air, or else no one will hear it at all. But I'm super excited about it. I learned so much making the Song of Iron that I can't wait to show what I took from it and how I'm going to do better with my next game.
Well, we can't wait to hear more about it, man. And I'm sure that we will talk to you on this show about it at some point.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Hey, we're also going to give a shout out to the chat, guys. Almost 1,400 people were here tonight. We do appreciate you. If you haven't, consider hitting the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. And let us know your thoughts in the comments as well. D-Batch, buddy, what have you been playing and where can people find you?
I've been playing a little bit of WWE 2K22, but I've been mostly outdoors riding, man. I got like 10 pounds I got to cut. I've just been riding like 20, 30 kilometers a day, man. So that's pretty much my life right now. You guys can find me on YouTube at D-Batch. I will have some stuff coming up later this week and next week, and I'll probably go back to normal next week. You can also find me on Twitter at D_Batch. It was a great show. Thanks for coming on, Joe, and giving us your insight as a dev. It's always interesting to me because, you know, I live vicariously through the words that you say. So it was pretty awesome having you on, and we'll see you guys next week.
Always. We've also got Tim Dog, brother. What have you been playing and where can people find you?
I've been playing when I've had time. I've been playing Trek to Yomi, Guardians of the Galaxy, Madden. Been very busy. Upcoming, a bunch of stuff upcoming, which includes June 12th, which, as you announced, I cannot wait to be here for the after show, hearing good things. And you can find me on Twitter, xCloud, Tim Dog. Thank you, Joe. It's always awesome to have you, and I'm really looking forward to what you're working on next. And the next time we can do another pod together, because this was fucking awesome.
Make it happen.
Hey, we've also got Zucker, buddy. What have you been playing and where people find you?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, Joe. Thanks for coming, man. A lot of fun. You always fit well with the group, and the chat loves it. So that's a lot of fun. You guys can find me on Twitter, Zalker87, YouTube Zalker87, and I've been playing a shit ton of Sniper Elite 5. A lot. Like I think I have almost 20 hours in that thing. Just going through the missions, doing everything. I really like it. It's a very well made game, and it runs well on both the Xbox and the PC, like just flawlessly. There's some bugs in it, right, like that I've caught, but nothing that's just like, oh my god, I never want to play this. So they did a really good job for a launch, and it's on Game Pass. So there's that, and me and Dealer's fraud asses beat Super Lucky's Tale. We went through that, like we were going through it together, and we got stuck at one point. We're like, how do we get stuck here? Fucking frauds. So yeah, it was good. It was a decent game, man. Actually, had a good time. So then I've been playing the Division 2 with a couple friends. We're gonna be going through the Warlords DLC. I beat that game like 3 years ago, and we're just going through it again and just having fun with it. And yeah, not to mention Sea of Thieves and Rocket League and all those games. So yeah, and Apex Legends. Fuck me, I play too much games. There you go.
That's a lie from hell.
Too many games, man.
Hey, but yeah, we did say thanks to the chat. I did beat Super Lucky's Tale recently. I think the difference between that and the old one, primarily anyway, that I noticed immediately was the camera was free in the new one. I don't know if that was just the part where I was at or what, but I definitely ran through that and was happy to be done with it when I was done with it. That was basically me paying tribute to 2017 when that game came out, and basically we had no games again in 2022, so it was just
whatever. We
like
had
homage.
fun.
And yeah, we've just been playing games, Sniper Elite 5, as well as crap. What else? Call of Duty Vanguard. A lot. You know what? The best part is you can follow me on Xbox at iSpace Dealer Space II. My gamer card's open. You check out what I've been playing, and it's a lot of fun, man. Gaming's the best hobby in the universe. Try to enjoy it, and try not to take it too seriously. That's kind of the key to sanity on Twitter and everywhere else. We want to say thanks again to everyone that supports what we do. patrons, channel members, all that good stuff in the Discord. I put that post up again on Patreon. If you're not in the Discord, that's where we're doing giveaways because Patreon doesn't like the giveaway thing. So we're doing it in the Patreon tab, the member tab. If you're not member tabbed, I can assign that role to you. Let me know. Message me on Patreon, and I can do that. But yeah, we're giving away some Game Pass or games. We're working that out, and I will have a winner by next week's show. And hopefully everyone that's going to be in there is in there by then. But thanks you guys for supporting what we do. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show, support these guys, subscribe, and of course, everything else. Don't fall for these damn WhatsApp scammers, by the way. This is like something that's happening like on every video is I'll get somebody that messaged me and they're like, I did a test. I didn't think it was you. You're trying to give me a PS5 over WhatsApp. And I was kind of skeptical. So I asked him, what was Zalker, what game Zalker loves that you hate? And he didn't answer me, so I didn't think it was you. That way, I messaged you on Twitter and made sure. That kind of security question stuff is pretty handy for those guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking detectives in the chat. Let's go.
Yeah, it's bad, man. Like people trying to scam people using my picture.
It started like a month ago. They use our picture and then be like, "You want a PS5? Message me at this freaking
Be sure and
Russian
send me your
number."
fucking social security number over at WhatsApp.
Yeah, and people are like, "Is this you, Zocker?" I'm like, "No, it's
I'm like,
not me."
yeah, sure. Send me your social security number.
You think I'd give away a PS5? I can't. I don't have a fucking big ass jet to send that shit.
You gotta send that
What do you
shit.
think this is?
First class, bitch. But yeah, don't fall for the WhatsApp scammers. It's happening to everybody that I know, pretty much. And definitely just pay attention to the check mark next to the name, verified check mark next to my name on YouTube.
Where's my prize, bitch?
And yeah, I just want to let you guys know that shit's fake. Believe it or not, there are people that they actually gave out some of their information. So please don't do that. Be safe out there, guys. We will see you in the next one. And we're out.
Morbius, bitch.
Hey.